Hi, welcome back to the channel and a new video on the Escort RS Turbo. In the last video we started stripping the rear brakes so we could get the car moving. I'd like to get the car outside so we can wash the car and just tidy it up and get it into a different position in the garage, hopefully onto my lift at the far end, and then swap the car that's on the lift into the middle so I can get that one MOT'd and back on the road. So hopefully we should have two cars MOT'd and back in use again. I had to stop the last video because it was actually getting quite long and we didn't have the correct brake cylinders or shoes to put back in the drums. But we do have the new parts now, so we can carry on with this video and get it all back together again. I hope you enjoy it. Oh, and please do hit the subscribe button, because I've noticed quite a few people are watching without subscribing, and if you hit the subscribe button it helps me on YouTube and grow the channel, and then we can make more content, get new projects, and yeah, push the channel further. Right, before we put the shoes and the cylinders back on the back plate, I'm going to take this seal out of the hub because this was leaking and we ended up with grease all over the shoes and just made everything really messy and obviously didn't function very well. But while we take this out, I'll take the bearings out and I'm going to clean them up in a bath of paraffin and check the condition of the bearings, just make sure there's no pitting and any scores or wear or anything. But it's good to use one of the kids' old toothbrushes. I always keep the old ones, especially for jobs like this. I'm going to try and do this in a bit of time lapse just to speed the videos up a little bit, because the last one was quite long and keep you guys interested. It just takes too long to record it step by step. So I will stop at points where we need to check the bearings and I can show you the condition of them, and when I put the seal back in, I'll break back to normal video for that. I'll stop the time lapse there just to show you the condition of the hub and the bearings. Basically, they seem to look pretty good, to be honest, and we should be able to reuse them. I don't know if you can see very well the inner race there. Looks okay. Looks like it'll be alright to use, and the ball races inside the bearings, none of them are pitted. Probably a little bit of wear, but I think by the time they're repacked with grease, let's just wipe that off. We repacked with grease and put back in, I think they should be fairly serviceable. Right, let's carry on. Okay guys, so it's a few days later. Work commitments and family life always has to come first over the projects, but we are back on it and ready to carry on. So last time we cleaned up the bearings, all seem okay. So what I'm going to do is now is use a premium multi-purpose grease. We're going to pack these bearings full of grease and in the hub, and then we're going to put one of the new grease seals. I'm going to knock that in and start getting it all back together again. Okay. Get a load of grease and just start working it in. I mean, don't worry too much about putting too much in at the moment. It's just to load it up, get it well packed. Put it in there for a second. Get the other one. And I'm literally just pushing the grease into the bearings so they're well packed and ready to go again. There. All done. I always talk to myself when I do these things, just to go through what I need to do. Let's put the rest of that in there. Give it a bit of a work round. Right, I've got a bit of wood just to put on the floor. Something hard to knock against when we knock the sill back into the back of the hub. Okay. Okay, we're ready to put the back bearing in. Always make sure you put the bearing in before you put the sill on. But here, before you knock the sill home, I'm sure there's people out there that have put the sill in and then looked and gone, oh, bugger, left the bearing out. But I'm sure that'll be quite embarrassing to do that now on a video. So let's get a mallet. And I've got a thick bit of perspex, so I can lay it over the top of the bearing, the top of the sill, and see what it going in. Make sure it goes in square and straight. There's nothing worse than it going in at an angle and it not sitting straight. So I just put a little bit of grease on the outside just to help it go in. Oh, let's get that sitting about right. Get that on there like so. And tap it home. Like that. That's one seal fitted. Hopefully that will stop the grease from escaping and getting onto the shoes and just generally messing everything up. I went ahead the other day and cleaned the washer up and the bolt and the castellated lock cap that goes on the bolt, so the split pin goes through. So yeah, let's put a bit more grease in this side. Make sure she's well greased up. All the inner race is done, and then we can drop the outer bearing in, and yeah, one hub built up, new seal, cleaned out bearings and repacked, and hopefully ready to go for another few years. Right, before we start putting the all the brakes back together again, I'm going to give the stub axle a clean up with a little Scotch-Brite pad, just where the new seal's going to sit, just so it seals properly and we've got no corrosion or anything build up, or any dirt to interfere with the sealing of the new seal. But just going to put a bit of tape over the thread so we don't get any dirt in there. So we give her a bit of a clean up now, and then we get on with the rear brake refurbishment. That's cleaned out quite nicely. I was going to use a little bit of wet and dry, but I couldn't find any, so I find these Scotch-Brite pads to be quite effective when just giving it a bit of a key. I think you'll agree that's a lot cleaner. Right. So we have the new wheel cylinders and the new brake shoes. These are the second set. As you can see, these ones have got a groove in like the original ones. They're identical. And the shoes are the bigger ones. These are 228mm. As I think the other ones that I had were only 180mm for the RS Turbo. So these ones are the same size. So okay, I think I'll put these brake shoes and the cylinders back together in time lapse, so so as not to make the videos too long for you guys. Just before we go into the time lapse, I'm going to reuse the old handbrake cables because for now the car's not going anywhere. So just going to reconnect these ones, but I will be replacing them with new handbrake cables and putting some new flexi hoses on the brakes when she's ready for being rebuilt, once all the suspension's been stripped off and powder coated, and the underside of the car's being stripped back and repainted, and all the welding done and just made good, basically. On with the time lapse. So we have the shoes, cylinders, and I had to use the old springs because the new set that I'd bought was wrong. Just didn't seem to pull. The pins seemed to be a bit longer, and the springs were slightly different. So I thought it's best to just stick with the old ones. I give them a quick wipe over, and yeah, all gone back together. Okay, just give you guys a closer look. I think you'd agree that looks a lot better than what it did do. I'm not sure whether this spring here is correct. I don't think it goes to this one. On the original set that I took apart, it was clipped in here. So I don't know if any of you guys can let me know whether that's actually in the correct position. If you could drop me a comment, that would be great in the comments below, just to let me know whether that's correct or not. But yeah, I think what we need to try and do now is get the hub back on, and the drum back on, and yeah, get this side buttoned up. Right, so we've got the hub back on, all the bearings back in and all greased up. Now, doing this hub nut up, I was talking to a friend of mine, and he basically told me to do it up by hand without any gloves on, just tight enough so you can't turn it anymore, and that should be just about right. Again, if you guys know a better way of judging how tight to do these bearings, I don't want to over tighten them and cause any undue wear on the bearings. So drop a comment below and just yeah, let me know, because I'm not actually mechanic. I'm not actually a mechanic by trade or anything. All this is all what I know is pretty much self-taught, and working with my dad when I was younger on cars, and it's always been an interest of mine. It's almost like it's in the blood. But yeah, my real trade is carpentry and joinery. So I work with wood. So I find working with cars a relaxing time. So yeah, a little bit of information about myself. Let's just take this glove off. My hand's a little bit sweaty, so it's just slipping a little bit, but that's about as tight as I can get it. Seems to rotate nicely. Yeah, I think it would literally line up with the hole seems to line up with the castellated lock cap nut or washer, whatever you want to call it. So we get a new split pin, and we put that in, and a bit more grease, and we'll pop the cap back on. Okay, we have the hub all back together, the nut is up and split pins on, cap's back on. But if you've watched the first video where I did a walk around of the car, I mentioned that the mileage is supposed to be about 44,000, but I have no history with the car to prove it. But looking at these insides of these drums, there's no actual lip on here born in yet, so I don't know. The mileage could be 44,000. Again, they could have been changed, but I'm not too sure. But yeah, it seems to be pointing in that direction that it could be a low mileage car. So I'm sure once we delve into the engine, we'll be able to see or tell whether it's high mileage or low mileage just by the sort of wear on some of the components. But yeah, looking at these drums, it looks fairly low mileage. I don't know if you guys noticed in that little bit of time lapse there that I was having trouble getting the drum on to fit over the shoes. So I took it back off, and I answered my own question to what I asked you guys, that whether the spring was in the correct position. And it seems to fit better around this side. So the spring's on the left hand side and the right side, and I've looped it into this hole here. So oh, you can't really see that. I've looped it into that hole there instead of on that piece down here. So it seems to go on. It seems to go on and rotate now. So yeah, just show you guys. I was having trouble with it sitting square and lining up. It wasn't allowing the shoe to centre. So yeah, we're back together now. Gonna put the securing screw back in. Oh. Screwdriver. And then we have it's a little bit, it just wants to centralise up, but yeah, it's a little bit stiff. But I think the shoes just need to align and bed in a bit. So we get the brake pipe put back on the back, get the wheel back on, and we've got the other side to do. Ooh. But I think with the other side I'll probably do that off camera, because I don't think you guys want to sit and watch this again. So yeah, I think that we're getting to the end of this one and move across to the other side. Right, so we've got the passenger side rear brakes refurbished, free, the wheel spins, yeah, the brake pipe's back on. We just need to do the passenger side, but I'll probably do that off camera because you guys obviously, as I said before, you won't want to see it again. It's just the same as the passenger side. So yeah, it's actually starting to move. So yeah, we'll do this side, we'll get buttoned up, and we'll get the car swapped round. We can get it outside in the daylight, we give it a good wash, and probably another walk around video just so you can sit outside on the drive. But please, if you guys enjoy these videos as much as I enjoy making them for you, subscribe. I've noticed that a lot of people are watching but they're not subscribing, so I've set a challenge for you guys to get me up to 50 subscribers by the end of this month, which is October. So yeah, please, if you do like the videos, do subscribe, do like, and also just drop me a comment. And I do enjoy reading them, and I will reply to you guys the best I can. Yes, and if you've noticed I'm doing anything not correct or not right, please drop a comment, let me know. I do like to learn from other people. As I said, that is how I've learned to work on cars, is by just watching and learning off my friends that are in the trade, and my dad mainly. But yeah, I do enjoy getting stuck into it and pushing the car on in its restoration, and also growing this new channel. See you in the next one, guys. Thank you.